Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and good evening wherever you might be. That's wonderful. Hey, Eris, good to see you this morning. As always, the lovely and gorgeous, most darling Eris. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It's almost the weekend. This is my weekend, of course. The camera's a little off, but hey, yeah, this is my weekend. My weekend starts on Friday morning, where I don't have work. I don't have a whole lot of anything to do except for just wake up, pour myself some coffee. I usually watch other people's streams these early mornings like this, but the beauty of it having these morning shows is I get to do my own thing, talk about things that really interest me. You're calling it the weekend because I am done with this week. I think a lot of people are. And, just when you think, things can't get any worse, it always does. I mean, that's what happens. So apparently, our insurance adjuster will be out here sometime next week. We'll see. That's cool. No stress. It happens. We want our stuff, well taken care of, well documented, and make sure that the leaks stop. So that was how my week started earlier. Having people out here tearing up crap in my office. It's wonderful. Yeah, fighting for ass space with your cat. That sucks. He won. Yeah. I'm telling you, those cats are vicious, vicious little creatures. But we always figure these things out when it comes down to it. The things that we need to, we'll figure this out. And I found this today, or maybe it was last night. I'll mute it because I don't know what it's saying, but it's in a different language, so they could be like cussing, swearing, all kinds of things that I wouldn't know anything about. I don't want to get myself in trouble. So we will pull this one up. All right, here we go. So this is why birds are dangerous. They're not real. Check this out. It's a nice little spy camera. Got a little piece that feeds into the CPU. It's got a cooling fan. Keep it nice and cool. Got a camera. Got a cooling sink. And look, bird sets out, and he can transmit everything off to the Chinese or Japanese people, but can see what you're reading. Let you know, are you reading the right propaganda? Sends it to a satellite. The satellite can laser burn you, and we collect this data by the US, except for somebody can't get through. It's dangerous world out there. See? Boom. Only victim's car survived. So the US and the bird survived. There's the bird. So be careful, Chinese. Yeah, no, this is not Chinese spy stuff. This is American spy stuff that goes to the Chinese. And we have these birds that we fly up into their because that's how we are. We've got birds that actually can fly, and their little spy cams in their chest, and we send these birds over to China. I mean, it takes a while to get them there, but once they get there, they look just like a real bird because the US is really good at hiding those evil little spy cameras. But I just want to know how the US plans on getting those birds up on the pole. And just imagine if you're reading this kind of propaganda that you would believe. You would believe it. Hello, watchers. Coming to chat so I don't look like I'm talking to myself. I know that feeling. It's okay. It's okay. People can watch and hang out and do whatever they like. But yeah, there's there's your bird cams. So, just so you know that birds are real. Birds are absolutely real, and they're coming for you. They're coming for you. But something on a lighter note. I got a good one that's much better on a lighter note. You'll love this one. And I found this one also so good, so good. If I get in trouble for it, you'll know why. There we go.
Hey, you want to make a bit of money? You should do what I did. Get into farming. See this? I got this selling corn. Comes out of the fucking ground. I couldn't believe it.
You like that? Got this selling corn. Comes out of the fucking ground. This one's a good one too.
You see that? It's made of chicken. It's actually made of chicken. You kill it, you got free chicken. You can sell it to people. Or don't kill it. Fucking eggs come out of their arses.
Yeah, amazing.
Fucking hell. Sheep, bit woolly. It's wool. Pull it off, sell it, fucking grows back again. You cannot lose. Brilliant. Don't even need an alarm clock. Unbelievable. It's only 5 a.m. and I'm right where I work. And while the other poor sod's struggling in on the tube, I'm going to go and get some milk out of a cow. Who's a jammy bastard?
I thought you'd like that. I thought you guys would like that. That's hopefully that didn't get me in trouble with the YouTube gods. But then everything's not as peachy as it seems. We do have to show a little bit of the bad with the good. So here we go. Share this. Do this too. Okay, make sure I got it there. All right, here we go. Here's a little bit of the bad. So a couple of good news, a little bit of bad news. And here we go.
Oh my God, it's on fire. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's on fire. Oh my God. Sorry. It's on fire. Mom. Holy shit. I hope they're okay. I wonder if they're doing an emergency. Oh. No, it's still doing it.
Yeah.
It's still doing it.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's on fire.
Another plain issue. Well, I don't know if it's so plain, but the story on this is, and this I was able to get out of, I hadn't seen it on the US today. I hadn't seen it on the US, but it looks like an Atlas air cargo plane. So this was handling cargo and not people. Made an emergency landing in the US's Miami International Airport after its engine caught fire mid-air shortly after departure. The crew followed all standard procedures and safely returned to the airport. News agency Reuters, Jesus, get my head out of my ass this morning, quoted Atlas Air as saying in a statement, the cargo company further added it would conduct an inspection to determine the cause of the incident, which occurred late on Thursday. Unverified videos on social media platform X showed flames shooting out of the left wing of the aircraft while in flight. The aircraft involved Boeing 747-8, which was powered by Ford General Electric Gen X. Jesus, why would you name them Gen X? Engines. and it doesn't mean that they were electric. After the incident, the emergency vehicles responded with no injuries were reported. The airport authorities told Reuters the exact strength of the onboard crew was not clear at the time of publishing this news story a few days ago. California-bound JetBlue flight had to abort takeoff in New York's John F. Kennedy Airport runway after fire was reported on board. The aircraft was preparing for departure around 8:30 p.m. when the crew apprised the control tower of the flames, following which all 180 passengers were evacuated so fire officials could extinguish the reported flames and potential technical glitches could be averted. Good morning, Farrell. No, it was, it's a possibility. I think, that those damn birds. Hey, Tulip, good to see you. Good to see you over on the Rumble side. Your cat went out last night and hasn't come home yet. Oh, yeah. Tulip Pip's over on the Rumble side. And yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. We had an older cat. This is actually a heartwarming story. So don't be fooled by how it starts and how it ends. So we had an older cat that my wife had forever. Her name was Sister Ray. She was this looked like a priest, had the little white what do you call it, collar thing, but the rest of her was just solid black. I mean, so you couldn't see her most of the time. And she disappeared one morning. She was getting old. I mean, she was, I want to say at the time around 13 or 14 years old. So, I mean, she was getting up there in age and she just disappeared. Like never, couldn't find her, put out food. She wouldn't come. And we just assumed that either someone found her and took her in or oh, well, thank you. Tuxedo cat. Gotcha. I don't know a whole lot about cats, but I do know that sometimes they don't come back. And that's what she was doing. And it was probably about 6 months later, or 3 months later, I'm trying to think, 3 or 6 months later, she just all of a sudden come popping up out from underneath like the shed or something like that, looking all disheveled and, thin as a rail, but still alive and still kicking. And she was with us for about another 2 years after that, before old age just caught up with her and she got really sick. We did have to put her down, but she made it. Dude, you didn't see? Oh, yeah, you see, you haven't caught up. We got birds. We got stories of birds. I showed it this morning. We do have birds. I'll pull it up again just for you, Baker, because we know that you're where you're at. You are a little slow, and it does happen. So we'll share this one here. See, this is a bird. Right here. Look, it's a spy bird. And it's got like its own little thing where an egg is supposed to be. It's got a cooling engine to cool its CPU. It's got little fans there, like a little turbo jet engine on the front of it so it can suck in some air. And look, it has a spy camera. And see what the spy camera does is it takes pictures of the Chinaman that is sitting in his home, being a good propagandist like he should, reading, the socialist doctrines. And then here we go. He sends it up to a spy satellite, and that spy satellite can, gather all that information, here in the US, and then it sends it back down. And, this guy thinks he's cool, and boom, he gets hit by a laser. Only victim's car survived. UFO laser sightings continue. Gas explosion. And this is what the bird looks like. See? So, yeah, got to watch out for those birds that sit up. I'm still curious as how the bird gets up there. Do they just like set it up there? I would be a little suspicious if I saw a bird not moving sitting up on the line outside me. So, if you look out, you see a bird sitting on the line outside you, just be wary. It is probably some spy program that they have in the US. I see you, Totally Pip. I see you over on the Rumble side. I would see the thing about Rumble, and this is what is sort of annoying, is I can't pull up your stuff over here. So I'm caring about your Totally Pip. We love you, doll. Love you. We're glad to see you. We've never seen the farmer one before. Oh man, that's a New York feather rat. Yeah, which is really ironic because that's what I have on my desktop right now. I have a French one. Looks like it's eating like one of its own. It's pretty interesting. Like I've got pictures from was it France? Was this Italy? Yeah, it was Italy of birds, eating like off of people's plates and crap like that. Stool pigeons is all of them that I see. These horrible little creatures. Yeah, we've got well, and of course now we come down to, this is something that they've done. Spy bird equals S bird. Yeah, it's weird how those little creatures come in. That's why Aussies lost 2 wars to the emus. They are cyborgs, and as all birds, emus are fake. You know that I didn't know this, but emus are red meat. Weird, isn't it? They're actually considered red meat. Oh man, is that because we need more red meat, or are they just that tough? I don't know. They're like meat sacks. Anyhow, let's see where we are. Yes, and good morning, Mass. How you doing? It's so good to see you, Baker. Good morning, Jude Curio. Good to see you. Good to see you. My gosh, do emus taste good? If you cook them right, I'm sure that they do. Ever had crane meat? Ever had crane meat? Not that I'm aware of. They don't look like they would have a whole lot of meat, though. Don't look like they have a whole lot of meat. Yes, I did. I totally saw you. I was talking to you. I can't bring you up on Rumble. Rumble doesn't allow me to do that, but I saw you over there. Here, I'll show you. See, I will show you. See, I saw it. I saw every bit of it. See, I was saying hello. It just takes a while for it to populate. See? Don't be getting angry with me, doggone it. Look. Probably I would be bitter. I would be bitter if if I had to live on a continent or an island. Would it be a continent or an island? Whatever. In the same place as a bunch of Australians. I might be a little upset too and bitter. Julie Pip. And Texas Jen, good to see you. Wow. It's awesome. I always get alerts on Rumble, but not on YouTube. That's so weird. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like me too much. Crane is delicious, looks and tastes like roast beef. Wow. That would be amazing. Oh, not on my own. You weren't angry? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I do keep the Rumble side running. I've got Kick, and I run all of those at the same time, especially in the mornings. It's doesn't take long for me to get those up, because you never know whenever I'm going to play something that YouTube disagrees with, and they say, "Oh, you can't talk about that." So, and it could change from day to day. Could totally change from day to day. We've got the baker is in the house. I mean, he's just feeling his morning coffees kicking in. You had some for Thanksgiving this year. That's pretty damn cool. Well, here I'll bring up the next story, so get it out of the way. That's It's more about the Texas border, damn it, because this is breaking news here. Breaking news. So, Eagle Pass, Texas. Migrant surge continues to overwhelm authorities at the U.S.-Mexico border. This brings it up. What's that? Oh, it doesn't take long to get it up. Well, look who is bragging. Damn it. I knew I did it for you. I did it for you. The Biden administration has given Texas until the end of Wednesday. So this was earlier in the week, I'm guessing. The end of Wednesday to stop blocking the U.S. Border Patrol's access to the 2.5 miles along the U.S. border that includes the area where a woman and 2 children drowned after state authorities last week barred federal agents from the zone. Here's the thing. That is not our problem. If they drowned, they should have just not gotten in the water in the first place. It really, really, really sucks. Are you just trying to piss me off this morning? No, I'm not trying to piss you off, but this is news. It has to be brought up. You'll see where I'm going. You'll see where I'm going. The letter to Texas Republican attorney. Why do they always have to put in? Why don't they just say it? The letter to the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says the state's actions have impeded operations, are unconstitutional, and it cites the deaths. Among the latest ongoing migrant crisis near the city park abutting the Rio Grande and Eagle Pass, where state authorities have erected. Oh, look, they're erecting. Okay, not yet. Gotta wait for the windshield to defrost. It's funny. Among the latest in the ongoing crisis near a city park, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Department of Homeland Security warns it will, by the end of Wednesday, refer the matter to the Department of Justice. It just sounds like they're saying, pardon me, you do what we say, we're going to tell Dad. But Abbott has the ability to put, his National Guard troops wherever he wants to. Sorry. If Texas doesn't conform to it, it will cease and desist efforts to block Border Patrol's access in and around the Shelby Park area and remove all barriers to access the U.S.-Mexico border. Texas' failure to provide access to the border persists even in instances of imminent danger to life and safety, the letter says. So we wrote a very strongly worded letter and sent it to the AG. Texas has demonstrated that even the most exigent circumstances, it will not allow Border Patrol access to the border to conduct law enforcement, but you have not been conducting law enforcement. Oh, very cool. Got snow last night. That'll be fun. Well, you finally didn't get snow. Sorry to hear that, Sean Bird. I really hate that for you. Really hate that for you. This word is forbidden. Effing hell. Paxton on Wednesday doubled down on the state's action, saying Texas will not surrender. Oh, good Lord. Paxton responded to the federal government with a 3-page letter claiming Texas has constitutional authority to defend its territory, a power he plans to continue to fight for the courts, according to the letter. In the letter, Paxton said Border Patrol personnel have access to Shelby Park to respond to medical emergencies. Isn't that amazing? They do have access. The Wednesday deadline marks the latest signpost of intensifying tensions between state and federal officials as the White House and lawmakers challenge Texas's policies, including a new law that makes entering the state illegally a state crime. That's not true. That's not what that says. We've already gone over this. That is not true. Friction over the issue has also spilled into states where migrants have been sent by Texas officials or otherwise have gone and prompted online migrant rhetoric to swell. So there's a difference between migrants and immigrants and legal and illegal migrants or immigrants. It's so weird. They don't get this yet. I will put warm tap water. I'm not making any sort of advice whatsoever. Supreme Court also weighs on border access. The Biden administration also asked the Supreme Court to intervene after Texas sued over Border Patrol agents' practice of removing razor wire that was put in place by by the state along part of the border near Eagle Pass. An appeals court ordered the agents to stop removing the wire while legal challenges play out, and the administration has asked the high court to step in on emergency basis to wipe that order. The drownings Friday underscore that Texas is firm in its continued efforts to exercise complete control of the border and land and block Border Patrol access to the border, even in emergency circumstances. Biden administration wrote late Monday in a filing to Supreme Court in that case, it is impossible to say what might have happened if Border Patrol had its former access to the area, including its surveillance trucks that assisted in monitoring the area. Well, obviously nothing. They were, and I love how they put this right here. What we know about the drownings of 3 Mexican migrants near Eagle Pass, Texas. Well, they would be immigrants. They would be coming across the border illegally. And if they would have just kept their ass on one side, then this probably horrible tragedy may have never happened. The loss of life always sucks, and we hate hearing it. We absolutely hate hearing it. So this right here is what really sent them off. Of course, as I said, I talked about that. We don't provide any legal advice. We don't provide any life advice. We're horrible at that kind of stuff. We don't provide any advice whatsoever. So here's where they comes in. So on Monday, Abbott signed a bill that makes entering Texas illegally a state crime. And so what bill is it that he signed? SB4. We've talked about this SB4 before. In case you don't remember, we brought this crap up, and of course, they are misinforming people again. And I will show you again what that particular one was as soon as I find it, because I suck at this. And damn it, where did I put it? I think it's in my bookmarks somewhere. Or did I leave it in my news? Anyhow, if you're interested, damn it, I know I've got it. I just have to remember where I actually saved it, because I'm bad at this kind of crap. And I will find it here while I'm doing that. Let me just give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, I've got it here somewhere. I was pretty sure that I saved it because I was curious about it, wondering what it was that they. There it is. SB4. Found it. Copy. There we are. And I'll bring this one up. So SB4, the little piece that they keep talking about, is right here. And and here we go. So, of course, as I said, SB4, this little piece that they're talking about right here, this little bit of information that you see, SB4, it grants local law enforcement power to arrest migrants and judges' ability to issue orders to remove them to Mexico. So, what does this law actually say? What does this law actually say? Well, guess what? I have it right here. This is the one that they're talking about. Relating to the punishment for certain criminal conduct involving the smuggling. What is that music? Sorry about that. It says relating to the punishment for certain criminal conduct involving the smuggling of persons using stash houses. It's amended by amending these subsections. The accused is found guilty of more than one of these offenses of smuggling people. This is what it's talking about. Smuggling folks, and they will go after the people that are smuggling people. The presiding officer will go down to where it becomes a Class A misdemeanor. The minimum term of confinement for the offense is increased to 180 days, punishable as a felony of the first degree, punishable for smuggling. The actor, and this here's where it becomes very important, as all of this right here, a felony of the second degree with minimum term of imprisonment of 10 years, and this is per person, if the actor commits the offense in a manner that creates a substantial likelihood that the smuggled individual will suffer serious bodily injury or death. Smuggling individuals is a child younger than 18 years of age at the time of offense, and the offense was committed with the intent to obtain a pecuniary benefit, basically get money for it. During the commission of the offense, the actor or other party to the offense or individual assisted, guided, or directed by the actor knowingly possessing a firearm, or the actor commits the offense under subsection or blah, 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 felony of the first degree. And it has to be shown in trial that the offense, as a direct result of the commission of the offense, the smuggled individual became a victim of SA, defined by a section, aggravated assault, as defined by the smuggled individual suffered serious bodily injury or death. So under this law, what it would provide is the people that were in the water that drown would be prosecuted by anybody allowing them access to coming into the United States or bringing them across or sharing or smuggling them, and they can go after them for each individual person. Exactly. Many people need that. Well, that really sucks. Been 5 degrees here 2 nights running. Your cat has stayed out. How do you persuade him to come indoors? Well, if you show them a little bit of food and they're not coming in, then they have a reason for not coming in. Maybe they know something you don't. You never know. I was thinking about, because I can't help it, everyone wants to keep talking while doing nothing. Exactly. That's usually what happens in those kinds of things. Shake the treats. Sometimes that works. Sometimes that works. Shaking the treats will sometimes get the kitty cats to come back in. That being said, enough of the border information, because I'm not trying to get Eris all upset, but you just have to understand that it's one of those where it becomes read into what they're telling you a little bit deeper than what you're shown, because there is quite a bit more information out there on these kinds of things. And of course, we've got another tragic story, and this is the teacher, of course, that was tragically assaulted after she had taken away his Nintendo. And this is her speaking out because she does not want him a moment to ever do this again. Does not want any leniency, is not very forgiving, which I don't blame her. You get smacked around like this, you might be not wanting to have them out and about to do it again.
Like to think that they left me for dead. They let him come at me multiple times. They didn't render me any aid, any protection. Like Flagler schools and Flagler County sheriffs failed me that day. Absolutely failed me that day. I believe it was like up to 30 years, whether it's a combination of whatever, group homes, whatever, jail, he definitely needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail for what he did to me.
Yeah. That's the lady that got bit down. Male and nope, still intact. Damn. Call him little shit. I love it. Calling the kitty little shite. That is hilarious. I could get my cats to do almost anything with freeze dried, Chuck, but it depends on why the kitty is out. Is male, female, kitty altered, male, and nope, still intact. That might be what he's needing. Looking for a little nookie. Yeah, guy calmly walks over to intervene. yeah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and I hate seeing that, and I feel bad for that lady that, had to be attacked like that, all for taking away someone's play toy. That's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible thing to see. And of course, we will show some good stuff. How is that? We'll give you some happy good stuff here. All right. You ready?
You want to sing? Yes. Yeah, of course.
Make sure my audio is up.
Moi la chanteuse d'amour, parlez de moi, à vos amours, parlez-leur de cette fille aux yeux noirs et de son rêve beau. Moi ce que je veux, c'est écrire des histoires qui arrivent jusqu'à vous, c'est tout. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis, me voilà même si mes années j'ai peur, oui, c'est ma gueule, c'est mon cri, me voilà tant pis. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis, me voilà même si mes années j'ai peur, oui, me voilà dans le bruit, dans le silence. Ne partez pas. Je vous en supplie, restez longtemps. Ça ne sera peut-être pas non, mais faire sans bouche, je sais pas comment. Aimez-moi comme on aime un ami qui s'en va pour toujours. Même parce que moi, je ne sais pas bien aimer mes contours. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis, me voilà même si mes amis j'ai peur, oui, voilà dans le bruit, dans la fureur aussi. Regardez-moi ça, et mes yeux et mes mains, tout ce que j'ai ici, c'est ma gueule, c'est mon cri, me voilà, me voilà, me voilà, voilà, voilà.
Awesome, huh? I knew you would like that. Must you be nervous singing? Yeah. No. That's pretty awesome. And that's coming from this right here.
Oh. Excuse me? Yes. Can you play Voila?
Awesome.
Voila? Yes.
Neat, huh? Good stuff. I thought you might like that. I thought that you needed a little bit of uplifting stuff. Probably been on X Factor too. I doubt it. More than likely she's around, I would say, what, 15, 16 years old, and more than likely performs with on a regular basis. So that's my suspicion. She's been, performing more than likely with her mother, and she saw somebody in, one of these little malls that's playing for people and asked if she could sing along with him. Aw. Great voice though. Yeah, she could easily be 12. I mean, 10. I don't know. Her voice seemed a little more powerful than a 12-year-old would have, unless she's been doing it for quite some time. That was set up. God, she looked like 12. Yeah, she could be 12. I don't know. I don't know children's ages. I don't pay any attention. My God. And of course, what was that? I mean, I'm horrible at age things, but she looked younger than 15. I don't know. I don't know. Don't be angry with me. I know you're not angry. It was just touching seeing a young one that has that much power in her voice and be able to entertain. And it could be just a total setup. You never know. What kind of interesting stuff that you'll run into. Wow. So that make your day at least? That make your day? I hope so. I hope it makes your day. I have heard some powerhouses of kids, and they pull from the lungs and diaphragm. Right. Well, that's where you're supposed to pull from. It's the lungs and the diaphragm. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Good to see these wonderful, wonderful, heartfelt people doing great things. My gosh, what's going on over here? I hate whenever people show me that stuff. I'm not showing that. No. Not showing it. Trying to find a little bit better feel good stuff on this. Today's artists are too nasally. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple of them on the tubes that are not nasally. It's all in their noses. Effing hate it. Yeah, because they're not using their throat like they should. That just sounds wrong. That sounds absolutely wrong whenever I say it like that. Eek. Let's see. What is it? Sorry about that. I'm looking for something here. All right. Oh boy, oh boy. So, more of the I don't believe that for a second. I think someone's trying to get me set up for BS. I don't think that's true. I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit more. She was a 12-year-old singing sensation many years ago. Tragically, she passed away due to anorexia. Good Lord. My instructor handed me a straw. Suck through this. This is where you get the air to sing from. Remember it. Be right back. Got to deal with the kitty issue. Gotcha. Take care of the kitty cat. Nothing wrong with that. I pulled something up, and it looks like everything is just horribly, horribly bad news. No, I'm not doing that. Not pulling that one up. Of course, they're talking about more U.S. strikes on Houthi ships and more of that. Let's see. Police reading new details. Gas station. I don't want to bring that up. Okay, I'm not bringing that up either. See, there's so many things that I want to talk about, but I can't because, well, that's how some of this stuff happens. All right, so we'll bring this up because I was talking about it earlier, but, give me a little bit. We'll bring that up, of course, because that's going to be top news kind of crap. Okay. No. That's awesome. Powerline. Oh, geez. I'm not talking about that either because that's just going to get me in trouble. Jesus. Why do they have to show these kinds of things? They're looking to get me in all shit tons of trouble, and I'm trying to avoid that. Trying to avoid getting in trouble here. All right, so here we go. Getting emails for a Norwegian prince. No, it's worse than that. Has my cat made his way home over to you yet? No. So here we go. Of course. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there was a certain vice president that was supposed to be handling this. So I don't understand why Marakis is over there handling this. Secretary of State Blinken and Marakis will meet with the Mexican officials on Friday. Border numbers have recently dropped from record highs. Well, of course, that's going to happen. Officials from U.S. and Mexico will meet in Washington on Friday to discuss ways to deter immigrants as pressure increases on the Biden administration to address the issue heading into November's election. Of course, this is where it comes up every year. It's going to come up no matter what side you're on, left, right, center. They want to address the immigration problems that we've created across the state. Isn't it weird how this becomes a problem mainly around election time or right after an election? But neither side expects progress from Friday's discussions. Nope. See, the talks to be attended by Blinken and Mayorkas, whatever, White House Security Advisor Sherwood Randall. Well, you know where she stands. And Mexico Secretary of Foreign Affairs Alicia Barrencia are an extension of discussions that began in Mexico on December 27th, when officials flew to Mexico amid historic highs in crossings at the border. I'm sure that the Biden administration is not wanting to have this. They're doing everything that they can to, have Mexico say, hey, can you not send so many people this way so, I can get reelected? I mean, that's what I would be doing. I'm sure that anybody in that position would be wanting to do it because they do not care about you. They are looking for that vote. I want to have that vote. Good to see you, Judge Maddie. Good to see you. From Nice Norwegian Prince. He's going to make you a prince too. Oh, that sounds hot. After those conversations, Mexico began deportations of Venezuelans crossing the U.S. A top nationality crossing began interdicting more migrants crossing into Mexico from Guatemala. Those moves, as well as seasonal migration patterns, produced a dramatic plunge in the number of migrants crossing. Is it migrants or immigrants, or is it illegal immigrants? Make the decision what words you're going to use, because we are not talking on the same level, NBC. But U.S. officials and other sources familiar with the talk say not to expect deliverables from Friday's meeting. A U.S. administration official who spoke with reporters on Thursday said, "We don't expect any big announcements tomorrow." And now you're wondering why. Wish you could be made a prince, kicks a rock. It happens. It happens. This is what happens with you. Oh, awesome. Little shit is home. Was set by the back door. Awesome. That's good to hear. See, there are happy endings. Two sides having laid out clear objectives for what they want out of negotiations going forward. How about this? You stop sending them our way and we'll stop letting them drown in the water. As you can see, you've got people that want to get across in this little area. And I'll go ahead and play it. We'll see if it plays and doesn't get me in trouble.
Between the Biden administration and the state of Texas over how to handle the border is heating up after the drowning deaths of 3 migrants in the Rio Grande.
Yeah, that's what happens whenever you get in water. There's always that possibility. Why would Democrats slow the invasion? They've ensured Democrat elections for decades. Yeah, I mean, both sides are playing a dangerous game using people as pawns. That's how they do it.
The Texas Attorney General is rejecting a cease and desist letter from the Department of Justice after the Biden administration said Texas had barred some Border Patrol agents from.
And, notice the wording: barred some Border Patrol agents from access to the park. So basically, they said, no, we're not letting this happen. That's what Texas said. They're just enforcing the rules that they've set about. Not being Border Patrol and not saying, go ahead, come on in, and we'll just shuffle you off to this location center over here. It's like, how about instead of saying come in, we'll direct you to the proper authorities. We say, hey, no, you're not moving. You're not coming across. You stay over there. and enjoy your day. Live long, prosper, stay there.
Accessing a key part of the border. And
That's a key part of the border. I don't know. I would say that we got a pretty large border, and this just happens to be where we found all those migrants wanting to come across.
News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley covers all of this for
Julia looks very angry this morning. She does not look like she's very happy.
us. Joins me now. Hi, Julia. So for more than a week now, Texas authorities have blocked, we think, border agents.
What, you don't know? We think possibly it could be. They might. Do we think they are, or are they? I mean, do we really know what's in their minds, what's in their hearts?
I have that right from going into a 50-acre park called
See, wow, isn't it amazing? Well, oh my gosh, we got this little area right here. Got this little area right here. You see, what, it's amazing. You got all this border right here, all this area right here. Oh my gosh, it looks like all this area right here that is on the border of Texas and Mexico, and oh my gosh, isn't it weird? I mean, it even extends over here off the page, over into California. So weird how that works. That there's all that space, and they're focused on that one little area right there. I wonder why that is. I have a small place, and it's like living with a man sometimes. The smells that come from that box. I'm not too sure what you mean there. I'm not too sure what you mean about that box. I mean, if you're getting smells from that box, you might want to. Never mind, we won't talk about it.
Shelby Park. Why is that important? And where is this legal battle going?
You have that right, Kate.
And then you have to talk
and
about
Shelby Park
fingers
is the place
and
you've seen
box.
me, Morgan Chesky, so many of us come to you live because it's been an epicenter for the migrant crisis. It's where a lot of my
cat box. Oh, okay. I was confused. You're talking about the cat box. I thought you were talking about a different box. Oof. Yeah, I guess it landed flat. Sorry.
migrants are crossing over. You can see those dangerous waters by the Rio Grande coming through that razor wire that is sometimes cut by Border Patrol to let in people who are in distress.
To let in people that are in distress. Here's an idea. Stay over there or stay over here or wherever. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that this. Okay, so we've got the little border area right here. How about you stay here, and if you cross and try to get over here, they just send your happy little ass packing back. Because you could always try crossing across the train tracks, but that's not going to work because they're going to say no, and they will send your ass packing back across. And also, you don't try to cross at like the deepest spot. You're going for like the shallower areas, and maybe you got some little crossing over here, and then as soon as you get here, they kick your ass back across. I'm thinking trebuchets. Get some trebuchets right here, and what you do is, as they come across, those trebuchets just are on these automatic like circular things, and they sling them back over like really fast. Of course, you might want to throw some mattresses over there, or air guns, or air what do they call those big giant airbags, so you can catch them. Because especially the little ones, because whenever you sling them, they tend to land way out of range. The larger ones, they might fall in the water, so you don't have to worry about that because they'll make a nice splash. But you might be able to sling them back over. Trebuchets, like automatic trebuchets, just slinging them back over, just zoom, 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 zoom. What's this? Yeah. We have 900 military bases around the world, 0 deployed at the border. Well, we actually do have some National Guard deployed at the border, and that was Texas's doing. So just make sure that the trebuchets don't sling them into the trains that are coming across. Oh boy, I just knew that I was supporting. This is interesting stuff.
They were completely blocked. Border Patrol is completely blocked.
We know you're not allowed to use our military in country.
By Texas Department of Public Safety last week because Governor Greg Abbott told them that Border Patrol could not have access to that part anymore. They not only could the men and women not go in, they had to remove their equipment. So they weren't able to see footage, Kate, when a mother and her 2 young children were in distress.
Well, that is their problem. If they would have been doing their job and not allowing people to come in, Governor Greg Abbott wouldn't have had to do his job and stop people from coming in. Oh no, can't be doing with a cat box. I have dogs too. They probably eat the contents. Oh yeah, we had a Yorkie that they were like these tasty snacks for him. He'd come, God, just a little gravel like hanging off his beard and crap like that. So freaking disgusting. Trying to wash that out of his breath. Ugh. Horrible stuff.
Last week, they say they could have been able to save them. Instead, they drowned in the Rio Grande. Now, last night, the Texas Attorney General.
They wouldn't have drowned in the Rio Grande if they would have never got in the Rio Grande. It's amazing how these things works. Don't get in the water. Do you think that that they would have been able to stop this from happening? I don't think they would have.
Ken Paxton responded to a cease and desist.
We have boats crossing our English Canal, and instead of the French stopping them, our lifeboat service brings them here. Exactly. Democrat Ledger, someone drowned, so just let 10 more illegals in. Yeah. Fear of alpha mama bear. Yeah, so here you go. I mean, here does this look like just a few people coming across? If you saw this walking up the road, heading towards you, all these fine folks, and I'm sure that they had a life and they're living, in an unhappy place. This is not pleasant for them. Having a country that is absolute garbage. But why are they coming to the US? Why not just stop along the way? Why not just stay in Mexico? Why not just cross the border and humanitarian crisis averted. You can just land in the country bordering you. Why is it that they feel the need to head up to the United States? Because these people want what happens in the US. I saw something on the Babylon Bee. They were making their predictions, and they said, what was it? In 2024, the U.S. or Mexico will be reduced to the population of 0, and people from the U.S. will be migrating and buying cheap property in Mexico for a better place to live. It was pretty damn funny. I would pull that up, but I don't want to get in trouble from Babylon Bee stuff. That's pretty damn hilarious. If you get a chance, check it out. The 2024 predictions from Babylon Bee. It adds some humor to your day.
Order from the Biden administration saying that no, they will not turn this land over to Border Patrol. They will not give them access. Yep. And what we can expect, Kate, is probably now for the Justice Department to start a lawsuit.
Oh, I wanted to show something. So where is it? I want you to pay close attention, and in this little area right here. This is for Farrell. It was talking about shipping container homes. So just pay attention right here, shipping container, and pay attention like in this little area here, because you're gonna see that all of these people like in this area are going to be curious of that rust on that shipping container, and this is what they're talking about building houses out of. Just watch, you'll see. Pay real close attention to that shipping container.
Them access, and what we
see it, You see all that rust? Yeah, that's what they want to build homes out of. Some badass. Yeah, it's expensive to have the badass shipping containers, really expensive. The amount of work that you have to do is so damn costly. Oof.
We can expect, Kate, is probably now for the Justice Department to start a lawsuit because DHS, when they asked Texas to cease and desist and allow them into that land, they said if they didn't, they would take the matter to the Justice Department. Right now, the Justice Department not commenting on this.
We already read about that. The Justice Department isn't going to comment on it because they're among the priorities for Mexico is getting the U.S. to agree to committing large figures to combat migration by addressing root causes. Well, there you go. Meaning political corruption, violence, and poverty in Western Hemisphere countries. A third senior U.S. administration official said Thursday, and the United States is interested in working with Mexico to address these root causes. Early this month, Andre Lopez publicly called on the U.S. to deploy $20 billion in aid, okay, to Latin America and Caribbean countries to suspend the sanctions on Venezuela. No, that's just like suspending sanctions on other. Shipping container gets too hot, so now you put in insulation. Yep, you probably want windows, so now you got to cut that out. And well, the thing is, whenever you cut out that little section, you have no bracing, and it weakens the form. So once you cut a hole in it, you have to reinforce it. If you've never seen one of those shipping containers crumble from being crushed, they're not as sturdy as you think. They're pretty damn thin metal in comparison to what you've got. Yeah, it's bad. It's very costly, and of course, you're right. Getting electricity to it, everything. It's so damn expensive. I know because I've done my research on this. I had to. Both U.S. and Mexican officials have emphasized that their ongoing negotiations are not transactional. For example, Mexico would not stop helping the U.S. with immigration if it doesn't commit to spending $20 billion in the region. Well, I'm trying to think. $20 billion. I could use about half of that. And curb illegal immigration. I could spend about half of that $20 million to curb that really quick. And it doesn't take much. Just it might be shocking what happens. You see the first few smoking, you might back off. Just saying. U.S. is highly dependent on Mexico's willingness to help. We shouldn't be. It's really simple. Make it more difficult for them to come across. You could save half the wires if you just use the container as neutral. Sort of. It sort of works that way. Right. So that's really weird. Let's see. No, I'm just determining whether I can show that. Because there's certain things I cannot show that will get me in all kinds of trouble. Would remain on hold indefinitely, blah, blah. And, okay. No, I'm not going to show that. There's no need. That'll just trigger people. All right. So, this is Australia. Oh, okay. Get your coffee. Get on there. I could not be on the. Yeah, it would not be ground, but not neutral. Yeah. Look up the tent city of migrants in Chicago, million spent, neighborhood fought. Yeah, that's because they sent that stuff over there. They sent people away. Well, that's pretty cool. Breaking news. Moments away from first crew SpaceX launch of 2024. Wow. Why don't we look and see what that is? now space with rockets aloft. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can find that while it's people being ejected into space. That's what we love. So let's do this. SpaceX, and we should be able to find their launch if it's truly a launch that they have going on. Launches January 20th, 2024 mission, January Starlink mission. Let's see. Nope, nope, nothing there. Nothing to see there. That was Falcon 9 launches. This one. Oh, here we go. Let's see. So they did launch something up into space. The Falcon 9 launches the AX-3 Dragon's 12th human space flight. Well, let's take a look at it. Falcon 9. Here we go. Here we go. This is always fun to watch. I enjoy these. Looks like a large phallus. Oh, yeah. Man, you could roast some hot dogs off of that. You could totally roast some hot dogs off of that. That's amazing. So yeah, they launched another piece into space. Of course, there was we can watch a little bit of that launch, I'm sure. And we'll mute it just in case. Because who doesn't like watching shit get launched into space? I don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. All right, let's do this. Full screen. There we go. See, look at that. It's like 5 minutes until they launch this bad boy up in the air. But they've already launched it, so don't worry. Don't worry. Firing this thing up. And see, most of it's just them talking. Love to see a space rocket launch in real life. Well, Massey, that is always a possibility. You know, I've seen I've been able to see rockets and missiles and stuff like that coming out of White Sands because the interstate going out of Cloudcroft going into Alamogordo, going into El Paso, they will shut down the interstate whenever the highway on both sides whenever they're firing missiles. So there's been many times that I've been out through there and seen those things get fired off. And you know, that's how it goes. But check this out. This is awesome right here.
Not next Monday, but the Monday after, gonna go get a facial. Good morning.
Good morning. See, I used it in a good way.
You did.
I didn't make it.
It'll be less good on other channels, but
but it's fun. It's fun. See, I kept it, tried to keep it nice and clean. That was my special introduction for Farrell. So
hey,
yeah,
Eris. Hi, Fed.
I'm glad you could make it in today. So a little bit of snow, huh?
Oh yeah, it's really slick too. I had to put it in 4-wheel drive to get up the hill.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you saw my thing on 4-wheel drive, right?
No.
No,
Oh.
engines.
Hold on. I thought I showed this. Oh, you know what? I bet you I haven't. Give me just a second, because this is even better. All right, we'll just stop that screen for a second, and we can come back to that. This is so damn hilarious. I don't know if it'll get me in trouble or not, but we'll find out. This is something that expert sent me, because we've been talking about moonshine.
I was going to say, if he sent it, it probably will get you in trouble.
Let's see, full screen, and damn it. Oh, damn it. Damn it.
Morning, Toodley.
Hold
Hi,
on just a second.
Maddie.
Full screen. Pause. There we go. And let me bring this back down. See, I'm got this playing. I'm trying to get it to show right here. Present. Share screen. And I think it's this one here. No. Window. Entire screen. We'll just do the entire screen. There we go. Share. So check this out.
First things first, do not try this at home. Now, for those of you who's whipped out my hillbilly fortitude, let me show you here what we're working with. Can't see a thing, can you? Come a little closer. Listen here. That there's good old corn liquor right there. Here's what we're going to do with it. Cheers.
Ah!
Right there's the hillbilly shot. That Red Bull give you wings. Or that moonshine give you four-wheel drive.
That was great.
You were like, where's he going with this? Where's he going with this?
Right?
And then all of a sudden it happens. You're like, oh. So whenever you said four-wheel drive, I was like, oh, that reminds me. Thanks, expert, for that.
That was great.
Well, I'm going to go grab another cup of coffee, but I'm going to pull this launch up so you can watch a launch that already happened.
Okay. Oh boy.
Be right back.
To clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent.
Yeah, we'll just keep it muted so we don't have we don't get in too much trouble. I'll be right back.
All right. I did too, Toodley. I totally thought he was going to set himself on fire. But that was good too. Oh, hold on. It was boring. It was it was incredibly boring. There wasn't a whole lot to do tonight, so those nights kind of stink. So do the ones that have a ton to do. It's kind of, I like somewhere in the middle, so you're busy but not feeling like a chicken with your head cut off. What kind of trouble did I start? Where did I start trouble at? At work? Bye. In the bar. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at that. I got my own coffee. And,
Nice.
and I didn't have to get up and do it.
Let's see. It's getting late down. We might postpone. We want to film in the sunset. Oh, nice.
Yes. I don't start trouble. It finds me. Right, Matthew?
That's right. That is right. It does always tend to find a feral. She can't stay out of it. She's a troubled teen. That's what it is.
I wish.
We call feral teen mom. You know. You guys were wondering whatever happened to Teen Mom? There you go. There she is right here. Hanging
Listen,
out.
let's not. Have you seen those girls lately? Because let's not.
Let's not. I don't know. See, I stay away from all that. There's some weirdness. The teen moms and that all that. That
I
just
have it pop up in my feed on Facebook all the time because I used to watch it. So
well. See, I don't do Facebook. I haven't done Facebook
I
in
do.
years.
I still,
I use
mean, I don't use it a whole lot, but I like the memory thing feature on it because that's kind of cool. I found a really cool one from the day today I found a really cool one from the day my dad moved down to Ohio with me. So that was kind of nice to see.
Mass, this I like much better. Teen Mono 20 years later. That's much better than Teen Mom 20 years later. Teen Mono. Because Mono was the thing that you always I never had Mono.
They still are doing those shows, Mass.
Yeah.
I
mean, they don't run out of teenagers that like to fuck. Just saying. It just doesn't happen. That's a forever show. It's weird how that happens. Good morning, Gigi. Good to see you. Good
morning, Gigi.
Cameraman's getting a little nervous.
Yeah, that's it.
Here he goes. Boom. Check it out. Boom.
Further beyond, opening the door for more to follow. Godspeed AX3.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Look at that thing go.
Of course, if you are just joining us, this is the launch of the Axiom 3 launch to the International Space Station. Those incredible views on your screen, and there's our first shot of the AX3 crew inside Dragon on ascent. Now, in just a few seconds here, we should hear the call out that Falcon 9
power and telemetry. Stage 1 throttle down.
The amount of cheese that they're pulling.
Falcon 9's engines are throttling down to help us pass
Things
through the
hitting
period of
900
maximum dynamic
miles
pressure
an
during
hour.
ascent.
Max Q.
10. It's hitting.
There's that call out for Max Q.
Falcon 9 is
kilometers an hour.
And
so
the
it's
Falcon 9
not
is going
quite
faster
it.
than the speed of sound.
There it is. I have to
We
remember.
can always
that's kilometers.
complain, Eris.
We will begin to throttle Falcon 9's engines back up.
Stage 1 throttle up.
There's that call out for mission control as well, as our AX3 crew continues on their way to space.
And they're picking up speed. They're 15 kilometers, 16, 17. Could you imagine traveling that fast where you're counting your altitude by seconds?
Right? No.
Next event,
Good morning, Wolfie.
Back chill, similar to
Good morning,
what
Impact
Wolfie.
chill underway.
there's that call telling us that again
Wonderful.
we're flowing a little bit of that super chilled liquid oxygen.
Stage 1 Bravo. Copy 1 Bravo.
That call there was one of the abort mode call outs that the crew is calling out as they are making their ascent on Falcon
Basically
9.
saying, nope, we're good.
Now we're less than 30 seconds or a few seconds away from 4 events that will happen in rapid succession. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, as it's there on the bottom of your screen, stage separation, ignition of the first stage engine, and the first stage's boost back burn.
So what will happen is as this thing is busting
Stage
into
1
the
throttle down.
atmosphere, it's going to separate. They're
That
going
call
to drop.
telling us that the engines are
They're
beginning
going
to
to
throttle
drop
down.
that section.
Yep.
Looks like it's falling, but
Stage
it's not.
separation confirmed. SpaceX Dragon.
Boom,
There it goes.
boom, boom.
Some loud cheers here as we can see that the
Stage 1 boost back startup.
first and second stages have separated.
And the cool part about that is that big main piece that thrust them up into space, it drops back down and as it comes back down, they land it.
Right.
This big massive tube that just launched these people up to this point drops off, comes back down, they land it so they can reuse it.
It's hey B. Good morning.
Like, and you know, you can sit there and say all you want to, but the fact that some autistic freak, decided, hey, why don't we do these things where we can reuse them, and started talking with people, getting
Right.
people
Rather than
together.
letting them fall off into the ocean.
Right.
Are they?
Or
Do they land them in the
yeah, they would fall off
water
into the
still?
ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they still catch them in the ocean. They'll have big
Right.
landing pads out there that they pull
Right.
out, and then they guide them in and they land them where they want to. Not all of them are successful, but
Right.
I think there's been a couple that haven't been. But yeah, it's just amazing that they're getting those pieces and landing them right back in there, and then they'll inspect them top to bottom and send them back out again. It's crazy how that happens.
A beautiful view there. The brighter light is the second stage under power of the embark engine. That first stage booster is now heading back toward the Florida coast.
Look at how hot
One thing
that
I
thing
love
is.
about daylight launches is we're going to get some amazing views. We should be able to see this
That's cool.
stage boost come back into view as the first stage gets closer and closer to landing zone 1.
Look at the speed. It went up to like 3,000 kilometers an hour.
Note that first stage is actually still coasting to its apogee. So it's about, as you can see there on your screen, 114, 115 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And it's going to keep coasting for
they're doing 6,000 kilometers
on the
an
right-hand
hour.
side of your screen of that
Stage
MVAC
1
engine.
boost back shutdown.
Thank you, Ayers.
All right, that boost back burn has
Hey,
concluded
Chris.
on the first stage.
Yeah, past 6 kilometers an hour.
Everything looks nominal with the second stage trajectory. Everything also looking good.
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Looking good on the first
I know the feeling.
those grid fins begin to deploy.
Dragon loud and clear.
Yep. Oh, I
Now,
should
the
put
next
that-
two major events we're tracking for the first stage, which
Yeah,
right now is on the
I
left-hand
heard of
side
it,
of your
but no,
screen, is going to
I'm
be
too
the
old for
entry
that.
burn at about T plus 6.5 minutes, where we'll light 3 of Falcon 9's first stage engines, followed shortly thereafter by the landing burn at T plus 7 minutes and 32 seconds, which will be a single engine burn to bring us back to landing zone 1 at Kennedy Space Center.
Damn.
Great view there of our crew on board.
So would you go on one given the chance?
And you can, of course, always keep an
Would
eye on
I?
air telemetry down
I
in the
don't know.
bottom corner of your screen.
Sounds exciting.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean,
At this point, we should be
I think
just
going
about
that
a minute
speed
and a
would
half
be
away
awesome.
from that entry burn
Dragon
start.
SpaceX
Hitting
trajectory.
Yeah.
hitting
Good call outs there
9,000
that we
kilometers an
continue on a
hour.
nominal trajectory with Dragon,
SpaceX Dragon, we copy.
and acknowledgement from the crew.
Going to hit 10,000
These are
kilometers
incredible
an
views
hour.
on your screen right here.
By the
Again,
time
mean,
they're
I-
up there,
left-hand side of your screen.
Probably get on one of those faster than I would a sub.
And stage 2, you see that MVAC engine
I have-
taking our
I didn't
AX-3
realize
crew
this
to
until I
orbit.
started thinking about it. I started thinking about these people that do like all of what do they call it, spelunking, where they do these cave crawls and crap like that,
Mhm.
and going places where nobody's seen for long. It has never seen the light of
Forever.
day,
Yeah.
and going and doing those, and then I think about getting into one of those really tight spots where you can't breathe
hmm
and you can't back up, you can't go forward, and I
Yeah,
get a
no,
little
thank you.
panicked. I get
Yeah,
a
no,
little
thank you.
panicked. Where I'm just like, yeah. That just sort of gives me the heebie-jeebies. Whenever I was much younger, I wouldn't think about stuff like that. Now I'm older. I'm just like, I
I
don't
would have
have-
never. No, not for me. I don't like small. No, I'm not gonna do it again. No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
At
And
any
when you-
age.
And when you think about it, you're just like, that's a scary thought. Like it could put the fear into you like never before. A little bit, sort of. Yeah. Made in the 70s. I may have seen it. Oh, did you see the one with the space
The next
elevator?
burn we're waiting on here is going to be a relatively quick burn, and what we're doing with our first stage is effectively scrubbing off some of that velocity.
It's not the creepy crawlies. The creepy crawlies don't bother me. It's getting getting in and like, because to see where you're going in head first. So you get into a certain spot and then you realize you can't go any further, and then you go to back out and you can't back out.
Yeah, Eris. Hard pass.
That's what worries me. Oh, I forgot to tell Kaiser the Air Force is run by a freak who implemented DEI, and these diversity pilots have a very unique way of landing. They mess something up, eject, and break out the crash. The popcorn for the crash. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, too claustrophobic for tight spaces. And see, I'm not claustrophobic, but that right there, puts the fear into me.
I can't even sleep in a sleeping bag. Like,
no.
See,
yeah. I don't mind that. See, like I said, I'm not claustrophobic as long as I know I can have a way of getting out. Like I've crawled into pipes before to fix them. Like there back in the day whenever I worked pipeline construction, because I was very slight build. I mean, I was very thin, like super thin as compared to now. My gut wouldn't allow it. I would crawl inside pipes and have this basically a container of water and this powder that's sort of like a cement. And you mix the powder and the water together, and you would end up with like this basically cement, and you would go in and you would seal the whole pipe up. After they would do the weld, you would have a crack in the cement, like where it didn't match up. And so what I would do is crawl in there, flashlight, and seal all that up from the inside, and then slide back out of the pipe, either go forward all the way through or come back and back out. But yeah, I wouldn't do that now, because I probably would get stuck. What's really fun is whenever they start rolling it and they start messing with you while you're inside of it. Little bastards.
No.
Because we'd have it on big rollers, and so they would start rolling the pipe, and then somebody would grab a hold of it and like keep spinning it while you're in there. And you're just like, yelling at them like, stop it. Because it's not like you're flopping around in it, because you can just put your arms out
but the movement still is no.
Well, it's disconcerting, because you're like 20 feet inside this pipe, and somebody starts rolling it. Like bastards. Those are the days whenever I was young and we did crazy shit.
As we come in for landing.
So where are they going?
The space station.
Okay.
Phenomenal trajectory for Dragon as we continue to orbit. Again, confirmation from the crew. And we are expecting about 2.5 more minutes from that second engine burn.
Pretty cool. Drink, drug, or have sex.
Right, Eris? Totally safe.
What? You don't drink, have drugs, or have sex? Damn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
It is what it is.
See, already preemptively chewed up the newspaper. What is that? It's just feminist theory about slasher movies. It's seldom true.
As we heard the call out, that entry burn has concluded. The next burn will be the landing burn. As I mentioned before, we're heading back to landing zone 1. We're going to come through the clouds right now.
Zipping.
SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Everything continues to look nominal for.
I haven't since I tried to break my face on the curtain or the shower towel rod.
Why were you trying to break your face with a towel rod?
I was drinking with some people from here, and
no. Used to seal wells with a vacuum pump truck, and one day the other crew mixed sand water mixture wrong and caught on fire. Oh, damn.
They like to see things go off faster than they do, Eris.
15,000. How fast do they need to go? Well, they have to break through the atmosphere, and you've got to be you got to have that speed up there, because basically it's like lobbing a ball up in the air. You know, you're going to hit a certain spot where you're not going to have any fuel, and it's going to just sort of get up there, and then you just sort of coast along. Like once they cut those engines off, it's just launching it. It's like launching a ball straight up in the air. It's going to hit a spot where it's going to peak out, and it's just going to hold right there. And then it'll just right towards the space station. They're not going to hit that space station doing that speed, but they have to do that speed to get out of the atmosphere of the Earth, the gravitational pull of the Earth. So it requires a lot of speed. So yeah, it goes fast.
Your crisp views of both the first stage on the left and the second stage.
And this is not miles per hour. This is
Right
kilometers.
through with these clouds should be our first view. Once again,
160.
there it
Here
is.
it comes.
Just
Look
like
at it.
magic.
Look at it. It's coming right back. This is landing right back at space station. This is not landing at a ship out in the middle of the water. This is coming right back to Kennedy Space Center.
We see landing zone 1. Crowds cheering here at SpaceX Mission Control Hawthorne as we tune in to see if we stick the landing.
Boom.
And if you
Damn. I just woke. How are you, Farrell? Damn. Pretty cool to keep up with and dock at the space station. That might be right. That might be right. He took over a week to put the well out with explosive salt water. Oh, Jesus Christ. Took over a week to put the well out with explosives. The saltwater trucks had to spray the water the whole time. Yeah. For it to doesn't have to be much wrong for it to tip over in that landing. Yeah. And the speed that it's coming in at too, just like it's like wow.
If you couldn't tell by the loud cheers, we did stick.
MTS is saved.
We did stick that landing. Falcon 9 has landed once again, but turning our attention back to the crew, as you see there, our next event is second engine cutoff.
19.
Or SECO, as it's referred
Look
to
at
there
this.
at the bottom of your screen.
20,000 kilometers an hour.
Is commanded to separate. A lot of just the energy here has been.
He's trying to dox my Discord name, but almost everyone here already knows it, including him.
Yep. He loves to pick on Eris.
Yeah. Thunderbirds 3 landing. I'll have to check that out.
SpaceX Mission Control is buzzing. You can hear commentary behind us. Right now,
Seems
the
a bit
crew is
fast.
experiencing
Yeah.
about 3 Gs. So
It's not
pretty
bad.
much a roller coaster for those thrill seekers out there.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
And we are about 20 seconds away from that second engine cutoff. MLA will know this this feeling very well, this experience of going from now almost 4 Gs to
Copy, Shannon.
Boom.
as another abort mode there being called out. Now standing by for second engine cutoff.
All right. See, there you go. Google says it'll have to get to 28. 163.52.
Dragon SpaceX, you're in a nominal orbit.
There we heard those call outs of second engine shutdown and nominal orbital insertion.
Orbital insertion. I love it.
Launch escape system disarmed.
And the disarming of our launch escape.
Rawr.
Meow.
That, of course, means that our AX3 crew is getting their first experience here in microgravity.
Microgravity. It's like, is that close to like microaggression?
Right now, Dragon is performing a series of onboard checks to ensure that we're ready to begin actuating those Draco maneuvering thrusters on board the vehicle.
Yeah, see, they've already got the speed. They're in outer space. And all I got to do is just boost.
Now, as we prepare for dragon separation, we should have a great camera view here in just a couple of minutes. Oh, wow, and beautiful views of the Earth and our MVAC engine up there in orbit as well.
KLI, that's hilarious. Eris, I would defend your honor, but I'm tired of doing that.
That's what she has me for.
Views there as we await that separation.
Oh my God. Ah, so crazy. Oh, of course it has to act funky. Oh, that was why it ended.
No.
Okay. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Oh God. So good day today so far. Glad to be home. You still there? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Are you glad to be home?
Yes, it was super slick out, so
Well,
it'll be plowed here soon and not be bad. We didn't get a whole lot of snow, but enough that people are going to be crazy at work all day. So I'm going to have a ton of cleanup tonight.
That's always fun. Not really, but it is. So I had this some representative was talking about those Democrat talking points where it's like guns. We need to get these weapons of war off the streets. I was just like, wow, you're just blatantly ignorant and stupid. Like, I can't believe how silly some of these people are with their rhetoric. It's like, my days are filled with humor.
Good.
What is lock the door? Have a fingerprint lock. Wow, so crazy. I'm just looking through stuff and I'm like, I can't show these kinds of things.
Right.
As much as I want to.
Did you see the Innocence Project took up Scott Peterson's case?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, we took it up. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. So yesterday at Mealy at Davos, that was so good. That just watching him like roast those people.
Oh, your thing you shared before I came on.
Yeah, that was some pretty solid stuff. We'll remove that so we don't get too many people all triggered. GG put in, the Dan Goldman tells mom who lost her daughter to fentanyl, you don't have the background to speak on Mayorkas's impeachment. Yeah. How would you like someone to tell you that?
I wasn't listening. I was reading. Sorry.
Oh, really? Well, here, this is something that Gigi sent or posted a link to. I'm actually hoping.
I was reading that and reading
alimony. I know your game. Here we go. This is just how people act.
Yields, I now recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Gold. 5 minutes questioning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I thank our witnesses for being here today, Ms. Nobles and Ms. Dunn. I just want to express my sincere condolences. I was a federal prosecutor for 10 years who charged people for gang-related and drug trafficking crimes. Unfortunately, this is not the first time I've had to interact with families of victims, and my heart goes out to you. And I just want to apologize in some ways to you that you are here really to share your story, but you're being used as a fact witness for an impeachment investigation. And obviously, given what your experience has been, you don't have the background to understand what a high crime misdemeanor is and how it relates to this. And so I hope that you're handling that okay.
What an ass. It's like you realize that these people lost their children to fentanyl overdose of drugs that were shipped across the United States because of lax policies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Gigi, try to send this link to Mo in the Deep End because she's cursey words for this guy. Yeah. He's a fuck. Simple as that. I'm not impressed at all that he's telling these people, you have no right to speak on impeachment. They're citizens of the United States. They have every right to speak on an impeachment. This is a senator out of Washington.
One of the things that the chairman said at the beginning of his opening statement was that he would.
Yeah. You should absolutely call him a turd on X. What's this guy's name? Mass wants to know.
Wishes that Democrats would turn our sympathy into action, and quite ironically said thoughts and prayers are not enough. At first, I thought we were at a gun violence hearing where we were talking about the repeated thoughts and prayers of the 2 mass shootings that happen every day.
2 mass shootings that happen every day? What is he talking about? Cousins kissing Cupid. I don't know what his name is. Yeah. I'll bring it up here in a bit. Is this guy is talking about, at first I thought we were here about mass shootings, these 2 mass shootings that happen every day. Or these the same mass shootings that happen every day? These are their statistics of at least 2 mass shootings happen every day due to weapons, because these weapons, they walk around and just go on shooting sprees all by their own little lonesomes.
They do that.
Yeah, it's how you count mass shootings. What do you include? Gang shootings? You quickly get the numbers up. Yeah, pretty much.
But even then, it's got to be. Isn't it 4?
I think it's anything.
Mass.
Anything over 2 would be
No,
mass.
I think it has to be 4. We just were talking about it actually on David's stream from the Crumbly hearing, because they kept calling it both a mass shooting and a school shooting. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but and so I think it's 4 to be a mass.
Yeah.
4 in one location. There's so many
4.
different. There's different, because then there's like a spree, and that a spree is different locations within a short period of time.
I liked spree growing up. Those were fun little candies. They were all crunchy.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah,
I think they still have them, actually.
They probably do. I should go on a spree. Go get some.
But I do want to just go through some of the actions, as the chairman pointed out, turn sympathy into action. Because I assume
turn sympathy into
you
action.
would agree,
Who's
would you
feeding me
not,
bullshit?
that it would help to stop the fentanyl trade and fentanyl trafficking from coming into this country if we had more law enforcement officers at the border?
No. It wouldn't stop that. Adding more law enforcement agents at the border isn't going to stop stuff from coming across. You know, there's putting in better policies do nothing without the actions. Putting more border patrol or more law enforcement at the border doesn't do anything if they don't take any action. I mean, that's I mean, I could be wrong here, but if they're not doing any action except proactively doing things, they're what is it? Proactive would be before things happen. If you're not
Right.
being proactive in it, then it does no good to put people on the border. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same way of putting up, you know, border walls. You know, everyone's like, oh, you know, Trump was putting up these border fences. Well, it doesn't do any good putting up all these border fences if you're not monitoring, you know, things that are getting ready to come across or paying attention to it.
Right.
You know, and
Well, and they don't want to.
well, and as much as everyone's sitting there going, "Oh, the wall, you know, it's a great idea, and you know, we could just put a big wall up around our border," that's not going to stop illegals from coming across. They're going to find a way. You have to be a little more
Hey,
proactive.
Iris. Iris is
What is
here.
it? Humongous profile active over the border wall. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, carpet bombs and things like that. Just, you know,
It is, Wolfie. It's all just smoke and mirrors. We'll just make some more rules and make some more rules and
right.
make some
And
more.
and this was my biggest problem with Trump's policies on borders, you know, putting up these giant walls and having it's like that only goes so far. It only does so much.
Well, it was more than anybody else wanted to do.
Oh, exactly. And it's you know, the thing is if you get these folks that come across and immediately send them packing back across, it makes it a bad incentive. You don't incentivize them at all in any way, shape, or form. Like
It's
if
funny
most
how
countries,
quickly
like
they were okay with walls when they were putting them up around the White House.
oh, exactly. Yeah, they won't let him do anything. Live on the border on one of the safest cities in the country. It's not like they say. Exactly. It is not like they say. I mean, I used to work out of El Paso and watch the migrants. And whenever I talk about migrants, I'm talking about migrants coming in to work and going back home at the end of the day. It was, you know, a constant flow of people coming in, going out, coming in, going out. And they would have certain protocols to go through. I didn't see all of the horrible kinds of crap, you know, that everyone makes in the movies. They make it to look out to be. You know, it was just like commerce. You know, you go over to Mexico, buy cigarettes for, you know, a pack of cigarettes for $1 whenever they were $2 in the US. And they,
Yeah.
you know,
Boy, that was a hot minute ago.
yeah, pretty much. But a lot of shit changed in those years intervening. There was, you know, people forget that Bush basically signed off on a lot of illegals being in the country and allowing them to stay in. People tend to forget about that. That was George Bush Sr. Yummy soft tacos. Still like the R. Yep.
That sounds kind of racist, Baldo.
We used to have people come here via boats. Anyone who comes via boat will not step foot in Australia by law. People stop coming via boat. Exactly. It's weird how it works. You say stop. Just stop. You put in some regulation on people coming in, and then they stop coming in. I thought Reagan. I think Reagan put it in place, but it was Bush that implemented them. The senior Bush, the old elder. I know this because one of the guys I worked with. That's how he managed to be able to work in the U.S. like long periods. He had let's see, back home in Mexico, he had a ranch where his wife, his mistress, and his ex-wife all lived, along with his like 5 kids. And whenever his kids would reach age, he would make sure that they could come over to the U.S. and had a place to work. I mean, he was a rich man in Mexico. I mean, we're talking about lots of acreages and, people working on stuff. He had a big ass ranch. And of course, he comes over to the US and he's just, a guy that does landscape work. And watching people how they would treat him, just like, oh, you're just a migrant worker, and he's like, not even close, not even close.
Yeah.
What is this? Got to call spade a spade. Normal Shizzy would say, if we want more immigrants, change the immigration laws and do it legally. Yeah, I agree. That's what I want. Do
We used to have lots and lots of migrant workers up north for all the farms and stuff. But now with like Roundup Ready beets and stuff, it's not as prevalent. But
well, they've made it more difficult for
Yeah.
people to do it.
right. Yeah, it's
Need
more
to ch-
difficult for legal people to do a job that provided a good income. There, there was a good income to be had in farm work up in the United States.
Well, like I said, I worked pipeline construction. I worked in New Mexico, and we had, well, I mean, the places that we worked were Texas, New Mexico. I think there were some guys that would go out to like California if they got a job out there. One of them worked out in the like solar fields out there.
Mhm.
Said it was insane because you're out in the middle of nowhere, and the amount of drugs that would come flowing out to the job site was insane. I mean, it was like trucks would pull up, like food trucks, and just be selling drugs to all the workers. It was insane. I was like, well, I find that hard to believe, but after living a little bit, you're like, it's not so much hard to believe. But it was I remember distinctly one day they said we had a mandatory meeting in the morning. They were going to be doing like a pop, piss test, and if you didn't show up, you were fired.
Right.
Like, simple as that, because they were going to tolerate it. So everybody shows up, and we're in one of the big warehouses and standing around, and they're, talking us through like their annual whatever. And we're about 5 minutes into it, and they're checking and seeing, everybody's here. We're not going to have to write any, firing slips. Everybody's, yeah. And about that time, all you hear is, let me go. And everybody is just standing around kicking back. And we had guys that were legal migrants and people that were in the country legally, like diving into like closets and crap like that because of this fear of immigration.
Right.
Like they had serious fear because they did not want to be shipped back across. But the thing was, they had nothing to worry about. Like they didn't find a single illegal person there. Like, they were pulling them out of closets, and as soon as they checked their papers, it's like, dude, why are you running and hiding? It's just this fear has been put into them of going back across
Right.
the border. And it's like, it was something that they would do these kind of like spot things where they wanted to make sure that the company was on the up and up, and everybody was here legally, even paying their taxes and all that other kind of crap. It's so crazy. Yeah, I have no problem with immigration. If you just wave everyone in without vetting them, you get some bad hombres. Yeah, that's
Good morning,
one of,
Kaiser.
morning, Kaiser. Oh, good to see you. Yeah, I had one of my old bandmates, his dad had inherited some property whenever his mother passed, and was renting the house out to a couple of immigrants. He didn't know that one of them was illegal because he was just sort of the roommate that came along with the guy that
Right.
signed off on it. And so he went over, I think it was like a Friday or whatever, and he was over there to like collect rent because rent was past due. And he met the roommate, and the roommate was acting all sketchy, and he couldn't figure out what it was. He was like, asking about this guy, and he was like, you don't live here no more. He went back to Mexico. He was like that's something's fishy here. And
Right.
he could smell a little bit of an odor, and he knew immediately what it was. Called the police, and apparently that guy had killed the roommate got really drunk, killed him, and then tried to hide him under the house. And it's just like,
ouch.
And then so whenever they arrested him, come to find out, he had come illegally from Mexico and he was wanted in Mexico for multiple like murders. It's like, what the hell? I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that, Brandon. You get some really, really weird ones. Son's a
Right.
roofing company works for, hires Mexican, gives them work visas because they can't find Americans to work for less. Yeah. Well, businesses cause it, but it's more than just that. It's more than just that. There's a cost of living in the US that you don't have in other countries. So you can hire up cheap labor to do things, and then you also don't have to pay insurance on those people. So if they get injured, it's just like, well, tough crap.
Bye.
Serious. It's it's worse than the businesses, because if you go after the business, all they're going to do is they'll just take longer to do the job. They're trying to get as much done. I know that the crews that come out and did all of the stonework, they're all Hispanic. The guy that hires these guys pays them like top dollar. And then they also have like their crews that are with them, that might be more of the lower skilled, like they don't have any skill except for being able to move a wheelbarrow. Like, you're not going to pay somebody $15 an hour to just move a wheelbarrow. Just like, really?
I mean, you might now. You might have to now.
Yeah, you might have to. Hey, Baldo. Yeah, you take care, brother. You take care. Yeah, it's the same here. Started in the 70s with Turks and Pakistanis being invited to come to work. Yep, it does happen. It does happen.
You pay a lot more to have people do a lot less anymore.
Well, and you're also getting, multiple people to do one job, where if you get a skilled worker, you pretty much have a skilled worker that's going to do what they need to do to get the job done. I mean, these guys would come out and do the stonework work just on top of it.
Yeah.
Like in their home country, this was a skill that they had coming into it. Like, they're bringing something to the table. These are the guys that you say, hey, I want to keep you working for me. I want to pay you really well. If you don't pay them really well, they'll just move on to somebody else that'll pay them better.
Yeah.
They have families. They want to put food on their table.
Yep.
And I hold nothing against that. Like I said, I hold nothing against someone that wants to come over here and do some work that somebody else doesn't want to do. And make money off of it. Have at it. Does it take work away from somebody else? Well, then lower your standards. You don't need to be making a shit ton of money if you're an unskilled laborer.
Just
it doesn't.
hand them an application for the job that they're so bothered by somebody else taking.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people when they complain about where I work. Here's the website. Go ahead and apply, since you can do so much better than we can.
Yeah.
Because people complain about my place of employment all the time.
It happens. I mean, I had somebody, come in and whenever I was a mechanic, come in and just like, oh, anybody could do this kind of job. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, here you go. Hand them the fucking tool.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand why you're charging this much just to change out a power steering rack. I was like, really? You don't understand what? Oh, here you go. Here's a wrench. Well, I don't know how to do it. Look, here's the whole manual right there. I'll pull it up for you.
Right.
They back off really damn quick. It's like, this gives you all the directions, everything that you have to do. Oh yeah, you actually have to pull the engine, drop the subframe.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, oh, and all the things you have to disconnect in the process of doing all of this, not a big deal kind of thing. And you're asking me how I'm able to, make ends meet. Like, screw you. You work for a small company that has too many slackers. The boss could pay 6 guys a good wage instead of 9 people pittance. Yeah. Yeah, very much so. That's the world we live in. I mean, I had a buddy of mine works in a CPA office, and we're talking about, what is it, millennials? What is it? Millennials and Generation Z or whatever the last one is that has hit the workforce. He says they'll show up late, they leave early, they take extra long lunch breaks. Their work performance is horrible, yet they want to be making the same amount of money that he does. And some of them do. Like, and he's just like, whenever shit goes downhill, they want to throw it off on him. And he's just like, no, I'm not, I'm doing my job. I'm not, if you want me to do their job, double what I'm paying and fire them, and I'll take over their workload.
Yeah.
But you're
Well,
paying them to do a job.
My biggest gripe with where I work is that they did away with merit-based raises. So I'm going to get the same raise as the jerk that does the minimal to get away with keeping the job.
That's the beauty of unions in the U.S.
No, thank you.
And so this backline company that I worked for, we got hired to bring in some equipment from here in Georgia up to Chicago for what was it? I'm trying to think of the name of the festival. Perry Farrell's festival, Lollapalooza. It was Lollapalooza. So we got paid to come up there and bring all this equipment up. We had two like box trucks, like the Isuzu box trucks. So they're bigger than like a box van, but
right.
They haul a lot of equipment. And what we were supposed to do is get up there and set up a few stages with our equipment. It was going to be rotated out throughout the festival. And we were trying to limit the amount of rotation that we would have. Like we had 2 or 3 drum kits for each stage that we had equipment on, and then, bass amps, guitar amps, things like that. Not a big deal. I mean, but 2 trucks, we pull up. We had one truck about 2/3 unloaded onto the stage before we were moving to the next stage to unload. And I think they were unloading another stage. And the boss man comes up and he goes, "All right, guys, this sucks." And it, because we rolled in there as about midnight, and by like 12:15, we had about 2/3 of that truck unloaded. He goes, "Sorry to do this. Load everything back up on the truck." We're like, "What the fuck? Are we loading back up and going home?" He goes, "No, seriously, load everything back up on the truck now. Get it back on the truck." And we're like,
yesterday.
Yes. So we're just like, shit. So we load everything back up. And by this time, it's about 12:30. And we're finding out as we're loading it back up that we were able to bring things to the very top of the runway, which they had a walkway that would take it down to the stage. We were able to take it to that point and set it out there. But it had to be the union that put it on the stage. And then once it was on the stage, we could put it where it needed to go. We were there until 3:00 in the morning on one stage.
Ugh.
Unloading it. We had a crew of 4 that had it unloaded in 15. They had a crew of 10 that took 3 hours to unload.
Nice.
And they would take their time. They would walk as slow as possible. Why? Because they were getting paid union wages, and their incentive to work as many hours as they could, getting paid, not regular pay, not getting paid time and a half because it's overtime. They're getting paid twice the amount that they would normally get paid. Just to roll crates down a walkway. They were in no rush at all.
No kidding.
And people ask, well, what's your problem with unions? Because it wants you to do the least amount of work in the most amount of time to gather that paycheck.
And the only ones that ever get protected by the union are the ones everybody would like to see gone anyway.
Yeah. That's my problem with them. You know, if you want to be in a union, go for it. But if you wonder why your cost and your price of everything goes up, not just from the rising cost of minimum wage and printing damn money, it's because you end up with assholes like that take their time and do not want to work. They ride the system. Yeah, that's how it goes. Let's go back to this moron.
And more resources and technology to stop the fentanyl from coming in. Do you agree with that?
I disagree with that because Border Patrol is now being used to make sandwiches and to screen people and let them into our country.
Okay, well, so
I disagree with you.
This is why companies need to downsize occasionally. They can fire all the slackers without a lot of complaining from unions. You know, here's a beautiful thing that I worked for a company that was non-union, but they paid better than union wages, which was awesome. You know, because he wanted the best of the best people in there, and he also would hire ex-cons and get them set up with a place to live and give them decent wages so they didn't have to, you know, go back and break into something or steal something. Some of them were, you know, drug users, and he would get them like the stuff that they needed to get themselves clean, whether it be rehab or anything like that. Totally would take care of this. And I worked for him before I went to go work for a company out of Maryland, working on a ship. And in between the time that I left working for that company, which was paying me a lot of money, redoing some annealing furnaces and stuff like that, I went to go work on the ship and realized that I get seasick, and I was like, well, I'll just go back to work for this company. And I called up my uncle and said, hey, you know, is he still have an open spot? And he goes, no, he closed his doors. I was like, wait a second. It's only been like 3 months. What in the hell happened? Apparently, right after Christmas, which is whenever I left to go work on this ship, right after Christmas, there was about 4 guys that wanted to form a union. So they grabbed all the people from the group and they said, want to form a union, and got all smart-assed with them and said, hey, you can't fire us for starting a union. And he was like, well, you know,
plumbing issues. Rats.
he goes, you're right. I can't fire anybody for forming a union. I can't stop you from forming a union. That would be illegal. That would be against, you know, your rights. You're absolutely right. But you know what? Nothing is stopping me from locking my doors and shuttering my place and selling it off. Nothing is stopping me from doing that.
They will shut it down so fast.
And he goes, you go ahead, have your meeting. I can't stop you from doing that. He goes, but my doors, you have this meeting, my doors will be locked Monday morning whenever you come.
Yep.
And your paychecks will be sent to you. He said, I don't care. Go ahead. I can't stop you from doing it, but you can't stop me from shuttering.
Yep.
And
it's happened many times with the company that I work for. They will, oops, sorry, this location is no more.
Yep. They didn't believe him. They didn't believe him. They came in. Sure enough, those doors were locked up. I think he opened it up about 2 weeks later so they could come and get whatever tools or hand tools that they had left behind, and sold off all of his equipment for whatever he could get for it. I think he got pretty good money for it, and said, see you, bye. Like, we went out of business. Yep. What are you going to do if a company goes out of business, shutters their doors? Go ahead, form your unions. was like, man, that sucks because that was good paying work. I worked for him for who knows how long, and I wouldn't have joined in with some union anyway. That's just not me.
Right.
It's like, what do you mean? This dude's paying better than union wages, and I don't have to pay any union dues? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Come on.
So you're saying that you're saying that you're upset because the border patrol is making sandwiches. I think you said. So you don't think it would be helpful to have more border patrol officers who are charged with stopping the?
But they're not stopping.
I would like the Border Patrol to be able to do the job that they were hired to do.
Well,
every Border Patrol officer that I have spoken to has told me that their hands are tied by this administration and Mr. Mayorkas. I've been to the border, sir. Have you?
Excuse me, I'm asking the
I'm just wondering.
And
that's a big fat no.
Yeah, he hasn't. You know why he hasn't? Because he lives in the middle of the fucking country, and he does not care because he's not along the border. He doesn't have to worry about the border. What does the border matter to him until Abbott starts sending people
I was going to
their
say,
way?
just send them right up there.
Just send them up to New York, send them to Pennsylvania, send them all over these places that are like, oh, we're a sanctuary city. They're having problems hiring. People don't want to work Border Patrol because it's long, boring hours and mental health exams. Yeah. Well, it's more than that. No, and this is sort of true. Yes, they don't want to work. It's because it's long, boring hours and mental health exams. And there's tons of job openings. Also, if your hands are tied and you're not able to do your job, why would you go work for it? There's a reason why, a lot of people left police force. Like the good cops are leaving and they're hiring like the crappy ones. Same way with Border Patrol. They'll lower their standards and they'll hire crappy people. I say that we use this as a very good opportunity to have diversity hires and should populate our Border Patrol with women. I'm serious. I think that women can do a wonderful job knowing that, their kids are going to be home safe, away from these predators that they're letting across the border. I think that women will make very good Border Patrol agents. You'll see a lot less people coming through because they'll be sitting there going, wow, maybe I want to check on this guy that looks a little sketchy with this, 5-year-old girl that he's coming across the border. Doesn't really look like him, at all. And there's no mother, but there's this little kid being brought across. Yeah, maybe we don't let this happen. I think they would probably open fire just right there.
The problem with that is that in Congress, this Congress, we have.
So now he wants to blame it on the Republican Congress. Border Patrol issues are because of Republican Congress.
Interviewed 9 senior officials under DHS in a variety of different capacities. Every single one of them has said that it would be helpful to provide more resources.
Well, you have to give the resources the tools they need to do their job and let them do it.
Yeah, you can. It doesn't do anything.
Hire everybody you need if you're not going to let them do
their job.
What good is it?
Well, it's a good way of spending millions upon trillions of dollars
at the border to stop the flow of fentanyl.
But they're not stopping the flow.
That is actually
because Mayorkas has made it where you can't stop the flow of people coming in.
What President Biden has done in last year's budget, fiscal year 2023, the appropriations. It included 300 additional U.S. Border Patrol agents, which was the first increase since 2011. Included 125 more CBP officers, $70 million for non-intrusive inspection, and 200 House Republicans, including.
See what I mean? It's the Republicans.
Every single Republican serving at the time who currently sits on this committee, voted against that bill.
Well, if you read the bill,
What
moron,
yeah,
you would
what else was in there?
exactly.
Be
If you
honest.
read the bill, yeah. Oh well, that would be too much because, and you know that's like SB4 that everyone's talking about it. They're making it illegal for Governor Greg Abbott signed it to make it where we would ship illegals back. No, that's not what the bill fucking says. And I pulled it up here and I showed what the bill actually says. And it says that we will arrest people and they have up to 10 years. They could serve up to 10 years on a felony if injury is caused because of smuggling people or allowing the smuggling to happen, which means housing them, putting them up whenever they, and the person dies in the commission of this. They could serve up to 10 years per offense.
Yep.
That's who they're going after. They're going after law enforcement agents. That's who they're going after. People that are allowing that shit to happen. That's what SB4 says. I don't know. I can pull it up again and show the same damn language that SB4 is. And they'll keep pushing this SB4 that was signed by Governor Greg Abbott that is punishing illegals. No, it's punishing people that are abusing.
Enabling them. Yep.
Yes.
Under the Biden administration, the Department of Homeland Security has seized more fentanyl and arrested more criminals for fentanyl-related crimes in the last 2 years than in the previous 5 years.
When did fentanyl become a problem?
Quite a long time ago.
No. When did fentanyl really become a problem? Seriously. I mean, it's been around for a while, but when did it start becoming a real big problem? It was at the very end of Trump.
Well, it became a problem for me in 2012. So, well, not personal use.
Right.
That's when it killed my nephew. So,
and but it started coming in, and it is increased. If you have an increased amount of fentanyl coming in, yes, you're going to end up with more arrests, more stops, and creating more that's going to be stopped because it is tripled, more than tripled since then. So if you're tracking those numbers, you know, if you only have, say, for example, you only have 100 kilos per year coming in of cocaine to the United States, and you're able to stop 10% of it, no big deal. But whenever you've got 100 million kilos of cocaine coming in and you're only stopping 0.1%, that number still increases. That number of stops increases. Doesn't mean that you're stopping more. It just means that, you know, that more might be coming in than you're able to stop. You know, the flow of it coming in is not decreasing. They've just increased the amount of counting of what they stopped. It's like that thing I showed of equal pay for men and women. It's like, what are you tracking here? Are you tracking the hours worked? Oh no, we're tracking the annual salaries of women. And that's how we're saying that they're not getting equal pay. But that means that they're working less hours, but you're not tracking the hours, although the information is there about how many hours they're working, but you're not tracking that. It's like, no, that we're going by annual salaries. It's their tracking that sucks.
Right. Well, you can make anything look any way you want to. You just pick the right numbers from the right spot.
And some of our politicians say the same and implement it despite us being in the EU. Trade deals instead. Yeah. I think one of the good things that Trump did was get rid of NAFTA, the North American Fair Trade Agreement, because it wasn't fair.
Right.
He got rid of it. Said, no, this is bad policy. It needs to go away. You know, equal for equal. That's what fair is. Not equal and it costs us more.
Yeah.
Or equitable and it costs us more.
Yields, I now recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Goldman, for 5 minutes questioning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Goldman. That's the guy's name, Mr. Goldman. From where? Well, Play it again.
Yield to now recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Goldman.
Oh, there you go. He's from New York, Mr. Goldman. Wow, Mr. Goldman. Yeah, they can't get it through, but they'll use the back doors. Yeah.
That darn back door.
Yeah, it's always wonderful. But yeah, she hammered him hard on that. Thank you, Gigi, for that. I appreciate it. That was pretty damn awesome. For restreams.
What are you reading?
Oh, somebody sent me a message, and and the message was actually copious free time. You could do a live stream helping people to set up their audio in OBS. Now that I'm getting the hang of it, prefer it over Restream. Because it runs off of PC, a lot of live streamers, I get the impression, and want to learn it, but it's hard to find good tutorials. Yeah, I guess I could do that kind of stuff. Helping people with audio and stuff like that in StreamYard, but there's also limitations on that because and I've talked about this before. StreamYard is pretty basic. It's made to be dumbed down.
Right.
But it works. It's functional.
Yeah.
It's what you have going into StreamYard in the first place.
Right.
As far as audio, digital, video, all that kind of stuff really is completely different. And I use different kinds of platforms. So I use StreamYard whenever I want to have guests on.
Right. And then when you want a game,
I do OBS or Streamlabs OBS, which I think I can have one guest on during that. I had it set up before, but it's been a while since I've used it. Yeah, it's with OBS, it's not as intensive because whenever something's browser intensive, it uses up resources and it's not able to stream it well. Like even Junior, what she does is she'll run OBS, Streamlabs OBS, and then she'll have the game running through that, and then she'll stream that particular portion through StreamYard. Correct.
Right.
So you'll see it in her background, like she'll have the game happening in the background sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, she uses OBS. I keep asking her how to set that up, but because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I'm not good at doing tutorials, but I'm good at helping people like one-on-one.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. You do a good job helping in the back room or whatever, showing different things like that.
Well, and also because there's certain things I don't want the rest of the world to see,
right?
Like usernames, passwords, crap like that, that might come popping up. I've done that before.
I told you I wouldn't take your credit card info again. Jeez.
Well, that's okay. But the question was, when I use OBS, do you add filters for audio? Whenever I use OBS, I do use filters, but I'm limited on the amount of filters that I want to use on OBS. And it has to do with sometimes you want to add gain in there because you're looking at your I can't remember your meters. So if you're looking at your meters, you want to make sure that you're sitting somewhere in the yellow, but not in the red. And that's where you want it to like hit whenever you're speaking, and whenever you're being quiet, whenever you haven't said anything, you want to have it like either very light in the green, like a little bit, or nothing at all. That's how you read those meters. But that's another day. And later, Gigi, you take care. Again, thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it quite a bit. And yeah, this is a fun Friday. A fun Friday, drinking coffee, hanging with the feral housewife. Oh, but I do have to move up and move about and do things.
I know. I need to go to bed. I'm exhausted today.
Yeah.
And I got David's stream to watch tonight, so
Oh, that'll be fun.
He got the Zachariah Anderson's police interview the day that they discovered the missing men. So he's going to stream that tonight. So pretty
That'll be
excited to watch
nice.
that.
That will be exciting. That may be a rewatch for me. I'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But-
think he's doing it at like 7:30 tonight, so I'll be able to watch that before I
Okay.
go to work.
So it's a little bit early. I may be
Yeah.
gaming at that time, so it might be a rewatch for me. We
Right.
will see. We will see. Or maybe I'll just stream snipe his.
There you go.
You'll be like, no, don't do that. Come over and join me.
That's it. I was so confused when I turned MG on last night. I'm like, because they weren't like acknowledging what Expert was saying when they were sniping him. So I'm like, was my phone doing something weird where it's like playing Expert on and them at the same time? I was confused.
Confused. I know. But with this, I am going to call it a day. Thank you all for coming by, and I will see you guys on Monday.
Well,
Peace, y'all.
later, everybody.